It's Saturday the 28th of September and we've just crossed the border into Scotland. We're on our way up to the Cairngorms for the first week of our sort of like autumn double break, which I'll tell you more about later. We stayed over last night at Gretna Green in the Days Inn there, just for like a way of breaking up the journey. We had a lovely drive across Wales and then up through the Lake District where there was a fantastic sunset. This morning though, we're just going to make a little detour and go to WWT Cairngorms, which is not far from Dumfries. And Cairngorms is an amazing reserve. We've been there a few times. It's not the best time of year to visit, although being autumn, anything could show up. We're hoping for maybe peregrines, maybe hen harriers. There's quite a few geese around, and on the way in, we've just pulled over. In the field behind me, there are several types of geese all in the same field. Some of the more common ones, like Canada geese and grey-lag geese, but also lots of barnacles. And what's most interesting to us is pink-footed geese, which is a new one for the list. So yay, we're getting results, and we haven't even got to Cairngorms yet. It's been a good morning at WWT Cairngorms. It's been a bit drizzly, but not too bad. Quite a few geese around, mostly grey-lags in Canada, as far as we could see. But we also had some good woodland birds near there. They've got some feeders at one part of the reserve, and lots of the usual chaffinches and great tits and so on. But also a new bird for the year, which is a tree sparrow, which is excellent news. There are a couple of places over the next fortnight where we might see tree sparrows, but it's good to have them ticked. I also saw a couple of deer. I think they must be roe deer. I'm not 100% sure, not very good on mammals. Speaking of, we just saw a weasel dash across the path. Didn't get any footage of it, it's too fast. But now we're going to head back onto the motorway and continue our journey north. It's Sunday, the 29th of September, and this is our first proper day of our little autumn big year excursion, which is a 2-week trip. And we're doing a week here in the Cairngorms in Scotland, and then a week in the north of England near Kirkby Lonsdale. We've got lots of little trips planned for each of them. We've been to both of these areas before, so we kind of know what to expect in different places. But here we are in RSPB Loch Garten in the Cairngorms. This is a lot about ospreys, although we're not really bothered about the osprey because we've already seen one. But that's mainly the sort of like heart of what Loch Garten RSPB is all about. However, they also have other species here that we'd really love to see, particularly crested tits, which are a real speciality of the Caledonian forests. We're really keeping our fingers crossed for those. They could be anywhere. It is a gorgeous reserve, like we're surrounded by this incredible woodland. Loch Garten is off to the left as I'm walking, so it's sort of behind me there. I'm sure you'll see some of that later. They have goosander on the lake, and goldeneye, and all sorts. So yeah, we're going to be looking out for probably woodland birds mainly, but also a few water birds. Yeah, I love this place. It's so peaceful. and it's a lovely still day, which is the first time we've ever been here when it's not been blowing a gale. So yeah, let's see what there is here. We're about halfway around the walk, and we're just by a loch called Loch Malachi, which I really love. A couple of times we've been here, there's been sort of flocks of greylag swimming on it. No greylags today, but there are some widgeon over the far side, a very long way away, just milling about in the shallows. This loch has definitely inspired me. One of the pieces of music I often use in my vlogs is called Malachi. And it's obviously inspired by this place. We haven't seen any crested tits yet, but we have seen some spectacular woodland and lots of different species of fungus, which is also very interesting. This time of year is great for fungi in woodland, so we're making the most of checking those out. It's Monday the 30th of September and it's a bit of a grey day, but we're making the best of it. We've decided to come to one of our regular spots in the Cairngorms, which is the Findhorn Valley, aka Raptor Valley, which is a little bit of a kind of secret birding spot. We discovered it the first time we came here after a lot of Googling as a potential place to see golden eagles, which are definitely one of the reasons we're in the Cairngorms this time. As always really, but particularly in the big year. There are a number of other birds you might see along here. We're still looking for that elusive peregrine. There's a possibility of that. We're looking for red grouse. We've just seen a sign saying look out for red squirrels, which although they're not birds, we'd love to see one. It's a 10-mile single track road. So yeah, let's see if there's any eagles about today. It's such a peaceful place here. It's always really quiet and just the sound of the river. No sign of any eagles yet, sadly, although we have seen a few different raptors. Raptors being types of birds of prey, really. Nothing to do with dinosaurs, unfortunately. Or fortunately, whichever way you look at it. But yeah, we saw a red kite, which is odd. Don't think we've ever seen a red kite here before. Obviously, we get loads of those in Wales, but not so much here. We just saw 3 buzzards, which I think must have been a sort of family, like first-year juveniles with their parent, which was good to get your eye in, get yourself used to seeing what isn't an eagle, because eagles, if you can't tell distance, it's sometimes hard to tell how big a bird is. But yeah, we're just enjoying the quiet of the valley, and it's supposed to be raining today. It clearly isn't, so thanks Met Office for completely misleading us. I'm glad we took the chance and came out. Well, we hung around for a little while. We saw a kestrel, which is another raptor for the tick list. Not for the big year, of course. And then eventually we saw one, a golden eagle. It was just above the hill, just behind where we were parked up. Didn't get many good views because it kept dipping down below the trees, but we did at least get a shot or two and some footage. And bird number 163, golden eagle. Yay! So we've still got a week in Scotland to see another one, or anything else that might come our way. It's Tuesday, the 1st of October, and we are here in Findhorn, which is a village / small town on the north coast. And I'm here with my amazing friend RJ, who I've known for many years. Thanks to the wonders of social media. But it turns out we're both really into birds. So we've met up as they live in Nairn? Inverness. Used to live in Nairn. And Findhorn is not a bazillion miles away. So this seemed like a good time to catch up on a bit of bird chat. We went onto the beach this morning, but rain came in and there wasn't much about. We did see a young gannet flying over, which was slightly confusing because I always forget that young gannets are actually sort of dark grey rather than white. But we're now at this little bit on the side of the estuary. There's a little bird hide, but we've just skipped past that and come down onto the grass next to the estuary. And there's loads of waders, lots of redshank and oyster catchers, and Dad's just seen a curlew. We're looking out for anything that isn't one of those. There's a lot of geese flying around as well. We've seen loads of Canada geese and greylag flocks. It'd be really nice to see a Brent goose flock, maybe, asking the fates. Yeah, we'll continue to peruse the waders. So we've left Findhorn Bay because RJ was looking on their phone and they found a list of recent sightings just a little bit around the coast to the east. So we're now driving into Rose Isle Forest, which goes onto the beach. On the list were such excitements as velvet scoter, which would be a lifer for me, and various other birds that aren't on our list yet for the year. So yeah, let's hope. Well, Rose Isle Forest was a delight. We had a lovely walk along the beach and then back through the woods. And then we've come on to RSPB Loch Garten, which is a lovely little reserve, a little bit further east again. There's some woodland, which we're currently walking through. It's just a little short trail down to a tiny little loch with a little hide. Last time we were here, there were lots of ducks and lots of geese of different varieties, so not sure what will be in store today. There weren't as many woodland birds we saw last time. They're not feeding them because of the bird flu, so it's a bit quieter than we expected. But hopefully the loch will be a bit more populated. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of October, and it's a gorgeous sunny day. A little bit of mist around still, but it's gradually clearing. We've come to just south of Aviemore to Cairngorms National Nature Reserve, which is kind of a woodland, small loch combination on the side of a hill with some big cliffs alongside it. And we are hunting peregrine falcons. And by hunting, of course, I mean just trying to see really desperately. Peregrine's been one of the birds that's kind of eluded us so far in the big year, and this is apparently a kind of fairly regular nest site. And although we're not in breeding season, there could still be peregrines around. So we're keeping our eyes to the skies. Well, we made it to the viewpoint nearly at the top of Cairngorms Hill. Didn't get quite to the summit, but it was quite high enough. Magnificent views across Aviemore and towards Cairngorms Mountain, and yeah, just spectacular. Well worth the walk. Sadly, still no peregrines. It's going to be that bird, isn't it, that we're chasing till December the 31st. You never know. We'll keep our eyes open. We've just driven up to the car park at the ski resort on the side of Cairngorm and had a little walk along the side of the mountain. Not a lot around in the way of birds, apart from a couple of stone chats, but the views are spectacular. It was worth coming up just for this. We were still hoping for some grouse, maybe a late ring-ouzel, but sadly just stone chats will have to make do. We're going to walk back to the Garn. I think that's today done in terms of birds. We've walked a lot of miles and not seen many, but hey, that's how it goes sometimes. It's Thursday the 3rd of October and it's a beautiful day, full sun, bit of a brisk breeze, but it's refreshing. We're in Tomintoul, which I believe is the highest village in the Cairngorms. We've stayed here a few times. It's a lovely remote location, sort of way up in the moorland. And we've done this circular walk a few times as well. It sort of takes you through some wetland and then through some forestry areas. And yeah, it's just a beautifully diverse little walk. We've just been treated to what can only be described as a flock of buzzards. There were about 5 or 6 of them. You could hear the young calling. I'm guessing they're kind of learning to hunt still. But it was lovely to see them in the sun at close proximity. We're on the lookout for red grouse today. They do inhabit this area and it's difficult to find them. Keep your fingers crossed, as always. And yeah, anything else that we might spot. We've driven round to Loch Garten, which is a couple of miles from Tomintoul, a bit further up into the Cairngorms, and we're still in the Glenlivet estate, which is a big sort of area that's kind of well managed, moorland mostly, but also forestry, of course. And we've been here a few times, and I think on one of the times we saw some red grouse, so we were kind of hoping there might be some here. The shooting season's just about finished, I think, so maybe there aren't many left because of that. But unfortunately, so far, it has been very quiet. I've seen a few stone chats flitting up on the heather, and an occasional buzzard, but so far no grouse, sadly. It's Friday the 4th of October and it's our last full day in Cairngorms in Scotland, which is very sad. This morning we went to Loch Garten and walked through the woods there up into Abernethy Forest looking for crested tits. Sadly, not a single one could be seen, hardly a bird. We saw a couple of chaffinches at one point. A few bits of interesting fungus and of course some lovely woods, but yeah, very low on the bird front. So we came back a bit despondent. We were going to go to Raptor Valley again and see if we could see more golden eagle sightings, but instead we just came down the road. So just outside Carbridge, there's a place called Glencharnock Wood and Elan Wood, which are right next to each other, and you can walk through both at the same time. Supposedly inhabited by crested tits, although we've still not seen any signs. Seen a couple of blue tits, so maybe that's promising. We've still got a little bit of walk left, but I've kind of stopped having much hope, to be honest. It's a shame because crested tits were one of the species that we really came here for, to get a great tick. But we did have a treat about halfway through Elan Wood just now, where we saw a lovely red squirrel perched on a tree root. Kind of knew we were there and sat there for a few seconds and then dashed away off into the undergrowth. Yeah, as I say, we're going to make our way back to the car. All is not lost though. This is the end of the September vlog, even though we've crept into October. The next episode, episode 10, is going to be all about next week, where we spend a week in Carnforth, which is near Kirkby Lonsdale. So we're in Lancashire, Yorkshire, Cumbria territory. We've got a few bird excursions planned while we're there. No specific birds in mind, but we're just going to see where the wind takes us. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Branwen Vlogs, if you enjoyed this, and click the like button. People always say click the bell button as well. It helps me with the algorithm. Thank you very much for watching. For everyone who comments and interacts with me, I love knowing that there's people out there who are interested in birds like me. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.